Welcome to the Out There Show. 7 terrifying alien abduction stories. Number 7. The Jesse Long's abduction. At age 5, exploring the woods with his brother, he stumbled upon a forest clearing where a large round spaceship had landed. Both boys were surprised to find that their bodies could not move. As a tall figure approached Jesse and his friend and picked them both up and carried them off into the craft, where they were put on a hard table, then poked and prodded. The creatures had creepy fingers and cold metallic tools. As he got older, they extracted his sperm and told him they were going to crossbreed his genes with female aliens. In fact, he claims to have met 9 of his alien children in total at this point, from all of the contacts with the aliens. Number 6. The Lindapolitano's abduction. It was the year 1989 in Manhattan, when 2 United Nations bodyguards watched in fear as a woman wearing a white gown was seen floating out of her window, and then into an oval-shaped craft hovering above her apartment building. The UFO then changed into an orange color and blasted away. The woman abductee was Lindapolitano. But the events from her side are even more interesting, as she claims that when awoke, she was standing in the thin air above the city, fearful she might fall before arriving safely on an alien spaceship. Then a group of bald aliens with giant heads guided her to a table. Then they laid her down and she began to scream uncontrollably. Then one of the aliens placed his hand over her mouth and she passed out. That's when her recollection of the story ends. Then she's waking up back at home, safe and sound. Number 5. The Amy Rylance's abduction. In the year 2001, at 11:15 p.m., in Gandaya, Australia, Amy Rylance was invited by her friend Petra to sleep over at her husband's house, when a loud noise awoke Petra from her slumber. Then she tiredly wandered into the living room, only to find Amy floating through mid-air, and she was still frozen in a sleeping position. Then she was carried through an open window upon a beam of light, up towards what she called a huge spaceship outside. Petra freaked out a bit frantically and woke up Amy's husband Keith. But by the time he woke up, he could not make sense of what she was saying, until he noticed that the curtains were visibly burnt in a circle shape. And then 90 minutes later, they received a call from a woman in Mackay, Queensland, who claimed she had found Amy in the city of Mackay, which is a long way away. It was roughly an 8-hour drive away. Number 4. The Travis Walton abduction. In the year 1975, Travis Walton and his 5 forestry worker friends noticed strange bright flashlights coming from the distance. They did what any nosy people would do, and ran straight towards it, but were quick to realize their wrongdoing when Travis got blasted through the air by a beam of light. Then it sucked him straight into a spaceship. The workers raced to the police and tearfully relayed their story. But the authorities figured that this was surely some elaborate story that the boys created to cover up the murder of Travis. The forestry crew was detained and interrogated, but the murder theory was instantly dropped when Travis reappeared 5 days later, with one hell of a story to tell to people. According to him, he was placed on a table where bald aliens in orange robes performed days upon days of experiments on him. Number 3. The Barney and Betty Hill abduction. When Barney and Betty Hill were driving back from their holiday in Niagara Falls in the year of 1961 on the highway, they both noticed a strange shape hovering above their car. And then before they knew it, they were back at home, 7 hours later, even though they had only been driving for 4. Dreams later, Betty remembered the abduction. Number 2. The Clayton and Donna abduction. For as long as Clayton can remember, he has been a prime target for abduction. He recalls vivid memories as a very young child where he was floating through the air before he'd be blacking out. I'm not sure whether or not he mentioned this crazy talk to Donna before he married her. But as soon as they got hitched, she started getting abducted too. And they have both independently sketched impressions of these aliens whilst describing the shiny metal labs in great detail. Number 1. The Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker's abduction. Went on a fishing trip with your coworker and then get abducted by aliens. On Pascagoula River, Mississippi in the year 1973. When three creatures with no eyes, no necks, and lobster claws for hands floated down from a spaceship and abducted them. Parker claimed he was hastily unloaded onto a slanted table. Then got a needle stuck into his penis, and then was plonked back onto the boat in no time at all. Thank you for watching. Now please, like, subscribe and share, for more of the Out There Show.